Okay guys, that's Tim again. This is our rig. I'll get back a little so you can see. It's our power supply running at
10 volts.
10 volts. Only 120 amps this time. And without any sort of filtration, we are getting 3 3/4 liters a minute. Now, what's important to take into consideration here of this setup versus our first setup, when we were getting more production at less power, is one of the two pumps is not working. So this side is continually moving liquid off, and this side is only pumping via convection. The pump is barely working. Okay, part 2. That's Tim again. He is holding our gauge. We are running at the same power level. Okay, 10 amps, 120 amps, 10 volts, I'm sorry, 120 amps. And we are still at 3 3/4 liters a minute, running through the filter we used before. Okay, which is what that tells us is running straight into the meter and running through that 1 micron filter doesn't make any sort of change to how the meter reads our production and cut. So what's really interesting is we get a pulse at the very beginning, where right now,
This is step 3.
this is step 3. Tim, hello.
Hi.
10 volts, 120 amps, and this unit is running at, it says 5 liters.
It'll drop down to me.
Yeah, but I think what we found last time was that it dropped slowly down to
What's the temperature?
3 3/4.
Temperature's risen.
Okay. That's probably what Tim is just saying, is that the temperature is going up over this time. So the temperature that we're experiencing now is probably more similar to the very first tests that were done during the daytime. And right now this is 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And what I'm going to pellet out to our friend Nick is, per his recommendation, I ran to Harbor Freight and got the dryer. So there you go. The impossible is indeed possible. We are running through a 3-foot dryer full of the silica stuff, and we are pushing exactly the same amount of liters per minute, which is 3 3/4. So what we can surmise from this is, Tim, what can we surmise? Is that there is no moisture in our liquid, or very, very little moisture. So
We're not wet.
we're not wet. And if you look at the tubes, like I mentioned in one of my posts, Nick, is that there is no moisture in the tubes. And once again, the temperature is slowly climbing up to 85.
We do have a little moisture.
We have some moisture here? Where? Where?
Steam coming out.
Steam? Let me see. Let's hold it up to the light. Holy moly! We do have steam.
So much for Harbor Freight.
So much for the Harbor Freight dryer. We do have some steam. Look at this. Nick? You are... how do you say,
What's it?
exonerated. Let's go ahead and move on to the next test. Hey, there's Tim. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Test 3, same thing, same voltage, same draw. We're now running through the decanter, dissecant, or whatever it is, air filter, majig, and then into the water majig. And we're going to hold up here, and you'll notice now we are not getting steam. Wow, that's not really, there we go. No steam, guys. No steam.
What's the water temperature?
The water temperature is almost 100.
Ooh.
And we are getting Same production.
3.75. Well, at least we're consistent on that.
Yeah, at least we're consistent. So 3.75, 10 volts, 120 amps. We aren't able to eliminate the steam unless we go through the decant majiggy. Disencant with the pellets in it. And then also through the 1 micron filter with water in it. And the water we're using to try to congeal whatever steam or mist or water vapor is in there, having it actually recombine with the water in that bubbler. And one more time, let's just make sure we're still not getting steam. No, no steam. So Nick was exonerated on the fact that we were initially getting steam, but what we're discovering now is that steam, once eliminated, also doesn't really seem to have any effect on production.
Hello.
So there you go. Hello, it's me. What I do want to say is that the cell, which is, we call it the cell, but it's a generator, hydroxy generator. One of the 2 pumps is not functioning. It's not moving bubbles off the plates as quickly as it was during the initial tests, where we were driving 3 liters a minute at 510 watts. The cell is in significantly worse condition. So I think it's fair to say, considering the fact that we've discovered that removing the water from the air doesn't have any effect on the meter, that our meters are not, in fact, we're not in fact being cheated the first time during the first test. So I think it's safe to say that if we actually got this thing running with all the epoxy and everything being properly put together, that we would probably be doing that 3 liters a minute at 510 watts that we were doing initially.